Welcome back, ladies and jelly spoons, to what the seed is going on in that plant. Today we're going to be talking about plants, of course, and specifically the body parts of those plants. Plants have body parts just like me and you. They have legs, arms, shoulders, faces. Well, maybe not that last one. But today we're going to be discussing all the different parts of plants. For example, plants have roots. Roots are used to anchor down the plant, and they grab the nutrients out of the ground for the plant so that it can eat and drink. This. This is a root. The root has root hairs, the epidermis, the root cap, and somewhere also in here there's a xylem and a phloem and all that other fun stuff. Let's take a closer look.
In a root, there is an epidermis, a cortex, root hairs, an endodermis, a pericycle, a xylem, a phloem, an apical meristem, and a root cap.
The xylem and the phloem, the seed and the stomata, you gotta know them because we're plants. We got roots and fruits. We also have leaves, cones, and stems. Now let's take a minute to talk about them. Plants have other cool body parts other than their roots. They also have the stem of the plant. The stem helps to support the flower or the leaves of the plant. It also helps to transport things from the roots all the way up into the rest of the plant. The xylem transports water throughout the stem. The phloem transports sugars. And yeah, plants. Now let's talk about leaves. Leaves is where photosynthesis takes place. Photosynthesis is where the plant cells take the energy from the sun and convert it into chemical energy to create food for themselves. Oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis.
In a leaf, there is a cuticle, an upper epidermis, a palisade layer, veins, a lower epidermis, a spongy layer, and stomata. There is a gas exchange that occurs when the stomata is open in photosynthesis. Guard cells help regulate the rate of transpiration by opening and closing the stomata. Carbon dioxide is taken in from the atmosphere through the stomata, and oxygen is released as a waste product.
The next body part of the plant we're going to be talking about is the flower. The flower is mainly used for reproduction of the plant. Because, I mean, look at that. Look at that sexy flower.
In a flower, there is an anther and a filament, which is the stamen. The stamen is the male part of the flower. Over on the other side is the pistil, which is the female part of the flower, and it contains the stigma, style, and ovary. Below that is the sepals, receptacle, petals, and pedicel.
The next body part we're going to be talking about is the cone. The cone, the cone is used to spare the seeds in case the plant doesn't produce fruit. It also helps in distributing them. Now let's talk about the tissues of the plant. We have the meristematic tissue, the ground tissue, the dermal tissue, and the vascular tissue. The meristematic tissue consists of densely packed cells that keep dividing to keep the plant forever young and is used in plant growth. The ground tissue is found inside a plant. It provides support and stores nutrients inside the roots and the stem. The dermal tissue covers the outside of the plant. It protects the plant, secretes leaf cuticles, and is used on the outer layer of bark. The vascular tissue transports water, minerals, and organic compounds, and is made up of the xylem and the phloem. Next, we're going to be talking about the 4 processes that happen inside of a plant. We have photosynthesis, cellular respiration, transpiration, and cellular reproduction. Let's talk about this. Cellular reproduction is the process by which cells duplicate and then divide to create 2 identical daughter cells. Cellular respiration takes place in the mitochondria. Cellular respiration has 3 phases: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport. Glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm, whereas electron transport in the Krebs cycle happens in the mitochondria. Cellular respiration is the process of oxidizing food molecules like glucose to carbon dioxide and water. The energy is trapped in the form of ATP, which is later used in all energy-consuming activities in the cell. Transpiration is the evaporation of water from the plants. It occurs at the leaves, while there are stomata are open for the passage of CO2 and O2 during photosynthesis. That's carbon dioxide and oxygen for all you standard folk. Well, that concludes this episode of What the Seed is Going On in That Plant. Hope to see you next time. Catch you later. Hello there, and welcome back to What the Seed is Going On in That Plant. Surprisingly, today we're not talking about plants, and due to recent budget cuts, this episode is going to be cut a little short, guys. I'm sorry. But today, we're going to be talking about biotechnology. Okay, so biotechnology. Biotechnology is the exploitation of biological processes for industrial and other purposes, especially the genetic manipulation of microorganisms for the production of antibiotics, hormones, and other things such as that. Examples of biotechnology would be designing of organisms to produce antibodies and the engineering of genetic cures through genetic manipulation. Examples of biotechnology would be the designing of organisms to create antibodies and the engineering of genetic cures through genetic manipulation. There's a thing called white biotechnology, which is biotechnology, but with an industrial process. An example of that would be designing an organism to produce a useful chemical, such as a cure for something, or medicine, or other fun stuff like that, you know, world peace, cure for cancer, yeah, that fun stuff. Biotechnology is producing something called designer babies. Like you get your designer purse, you get your designer dress, but like a designer baby? What does this world come to? Designer babies would allow parents to be able to choose whatever genes and characteristics they want for their child. So, this would have a major effect on society because people's kids wouldn't look like them anymore. I could be 7 foot tall, white, and have green hair, and then my child could be 3 foot tall, blue with purple hair. Like, it's just... What? What? This is the world's come to. Biotechnology affecting the environment could have a major impact. Manipulating an important microorganism could stop it from reproducing. Let's say the organism was rare. Now that it cannot reproduce any more organisms that have relation to the one that was manipulated, it could start a chain effect and somehow change the environment. Biotechnology also has effects on you. When it comes to medicine and fighting off or preventing diseases, some of your cells could be manipulated. So all in all, biotechnology can be good and it can be bad. I mean, medicine? Yeah. Designer babies? Yeah. Well, that's all I have for today. Catch you next time on What the Seed is Going On in That Plant.